Sons of the Forest is a survival video game, which is the sequel to the 2014 video game title, The Forest. If you're looking to have a perfect start in the game as a complete beginner, or maybe you want to start the game again with a bit of knowledge firsthand, this video is all that you will ever need to get the best out of Sons of the Forest. Your first job is to search everything carefully at the crash site before you move on. Whether it's in the snow or bushes, depending on where you start, make sure to check everything properly so you don't miss anything. Here, you'll find important things like food and water to keep you going until you set up your first base. You'll also find useful materials like duct tape, ammo, tarp, medicine, and grenades. It's important to be thorough when looking through any area because you can often find suitcases and containers hidden in nearby bushes which contain useful things, so try not to skip any of them. Sometimes you might even find extra things, but what you get can be different each time you play. So, the best advice is to check everything before moving on. Upon starting the game, you'll receive prompts guiding you through tasks like checking your inventory, basic crafting, and accessing your GPS. However, the game neglects to explain the use of certain hotkeys and inventory management. To assign a hotkey, hover over an item, hit a number key, and later use that key to swiftly access the item while exploring. For combat readiness, you should assign hotkeys to melee weapons or ranged weapons like the pistol. Notably, there's no quick toolbar in the game, meaning you can't simply equip items. Instead, press I to open your inventory and click on the backpack, which essentially serves as your toolbar in the middle of the screen. To quickly access items, hold down I, select the desired item, and use E to interact with it. Building a home base is a really important step in the game, and the best spot is to place it near freshwater source. The good thing about being near freshwater is that you always have water to drink, and it's a good defense against enemies since they can't swim well. But the downside is that you might encounter more cannibals around your base. To set up your camp in a smart way, use your GPS map to find a river nearby for a good defensive spot. Focus on building defenses like walls, traps, and lookout towers to protect your base. It's better to have your base in an open area with fewer trees so you can see better and defend against cannibal attacks. Manual saving is important, and creating a basic shelter tent with just one tarp and stick makes this possible easily. This tent serves as a portable sleeping spot, and the advantage is that you can carry the tarp with you when you move. Also, when you explore caves, it can be challenging to find materials like trees or stones to build shelters. To solve this problem, you can again create a simple tent that you can easily set up and take down. You can find tarps in containers at crash sites, while sticks are abundant near trees and bushes. As you spend more days in the game, more cannibals appear on the island. Initially, scouts are harmless, but they can escalate to attacks by nearby cannibals. Fortunately, building strategic traps becomes an important defense mechanism against these hostile encounters. Having Kelvin as your companion in the game is a big advantage because he can help you save time by doing tasks like collecting logs, sticks, rocks, and fish for you. It's important to use his skills to your advantage. Though, when you save the game and come back later, you need to give him new tasks because he won't automatically continue what he was doing before. You also get another companion named Virginia, which is great in combat, but Kelvin becomes available after you rescue him from a crash site. You can write messages on your notepad to give specific orders to Kelvin, such as gathering resources or preparing areas for building. This is especially helpful in the beginning of the game when you can direct Kelvin to gather fish near water to deal with food scarcity. You can also instruct him to set up a shelter or clear areas while you explore for other materials, which helps with your overall survival strategy. 3D printers are the way to make important tools like a flask and mask, which protects you against mutants. It's really important to locate a printer early in the game because it makes things easier by solving problems. In the beginning, it's crucial to focus on finding a printer and gathering a material called resin. Resin is everywhere along your path and is needed to print items. The printer not only helps you fight dangerous enemies, but also turns collected resin into useful equipment. There are multiple printers hidden in bunkers across the game map, and reaching them takes effort. However, there's one printer that you can find right away after landing, which is located downstream from the crash site cave in the recreation bunker entrance, but you'll need a maintenance keycard to access the bunker. Even without the keycard, you can use the printer outside the office to make tools, armor parts, ammunition, and more, as long as you have enough resin. In the game, you receive a guidebook, accessible from the inventory or by pressing B. This book is a valuable resource, teaching you how to construct various structures. You can flip through pages with buttons or use tabs to jump to specific building categories. An essential feature is the ability to switch from right-handed to left-handed mode. In your right hand, the book provides basics like walls, floors, stairs, and fires. When in your left hand, it operates akin to the guidebook in the original game, displaying more intricate builds. You can select and place them in the world, then fill them with necessary materials. The handbook also offers blueprints for different traps, from sound alarms to animal traps and hardcore weapons. Basic traps are in the handbook, but you can discover hidden island blueprints for advanced weapons. To build better traps, uncommon items are often needed, emphasizing the importance of collecting various materials. Strategically placing traps around your base can deter cannibals, eliminating the need for direct combat. Even though the game doesn't have a strict order of events, checking your GPS and going to marked locations will lead you to helpful caves and landmarks. Make sure to get armor and weapons to protect yourself from enemies. Once you have a good base, use your GPS to understand map markers. Green markers show the main story progression, helping you find the missing billionaire. Focus on these if you want to advance the main storyline. The map also points out cave entrances with valuable items like the rebreather, shovel, and rope gun. So, make sure to check out your GPS more often. Sons of the Forest has a new feature where the weather changes as seasons pass. When winter comes, the environment becomes harsher, with colder days and nights. This makes it harder to find food, and the mutants become more aggressive because they're hungry for human flesh. To survive the winter, it's a good idea to gather and store food and important resources like logs and building materials before it gets too cold. Exploring the map before winter is also important, as it becomes more difficult to travel in the cold, like visiting certain locations marked with purple markers, which can make your exploration easier. To prepare for this, you should consider building walls and spikes for defense around your base and saving any ready-to-eat meals you find to ensure you have enough food throughout the tough winter season. I hope this list of tips help you when just starting. If you've got any tips you'd like pass along, share it with us in the comments. While you're here, be sure to check out beginner guides for other video games. One of your favorite games might be there too. For everything else gaming, keep it here. I'll see you all in the next video.